a single prize card has taken the body and the Heroescape and is able to make something happen like that. But you never know. We do have the Okidogi EX as well that can be a heavy hitter that could possibly take down a Gholdengo, but Vini gonna start us off with this Buddy Puffin, and he's gonna immediately find the bad news that both of the key cards that he's gonna need for this matchup are just not quite available.
Yeah, first deck check here coming in for Vinny Fernandez. Again, Buddy Puffin, you hard open that on your first turn. You know you're going to be having a good time, typically. But again, unable to find that Badu is going to be tough. But I'm sure Vinny's going to find a plan B, right? These top players, they don't like following a flowchart. You know, it's never, this is going to happen, and then you do this. This is going to happen, and then it's going to do this. But they like to play it as it goes. Definitely have some divergent plans. But as two Zoruas do hit the board, I believe that's just an attachment for turn. That might be it, but that should be good enough.
Yeah, I mean, solid start if you have a Petrant, which Vini does play 2 copies of Petrant DX, not just 1. Also plays 3 copies of Karen's Conviction as well. So, I mean, his list is definitely not the typical Zoroark deck. I think he's definitely going to try to be aggressive, try to find prize cards he could, finding Mochi, poison his own Zoroark, get a knockout on this Festivity immediately. Maybe he doesn't know exactly what he's up against either, but he's definitely going to find out as Simon plays that. Arvin, and which ace spec are we rocking for Simon here?
Simon is playing
Precious Trolley.
Yeah, but Precious Trolley, very powerful in this early game. That's for sure. Able to find any amount of Pokemon. Well, you can fill your bench with the basic Pokemon. That is definitely really, really good there. Typically, when you see the Arvin plus Precious Trolley, you like to see the Evo as well, get some evolutions into play. However, I don't think Simon is playing the Evo, which is A-okay. There is a way to get those evolutions, but it's a little bit tougher for Simon just because his Genesect is prized.
Yeah, only playing a single copy of that Genesect. I feel like that's been like a greedy thing we've seen from most Gholdengo decks. When Genesect TX came out, most of them were rocking 2 in their deck list, but now, I mean, the odds of you prizing it are pretty low. You can still find one of your 4 Gholdengo EXs naturally, right? But it not being available can certainly be problematic. You have aggression with the Zoroark as well. You have draw with Lunatone, so it's not essential, and that's why it's not a 2-of. But it's always nice to have to just guarantee those 2 Gholdengos immediately.
This might be exactly what Vinny needs. Maybe slow down some Gholdengos, but you know what you can't slow down? The Zoroark plus Lunatone combo. So Iron Bundle was just played there, switching the higher HP Reshiram to the bench, forcing this lone Zorua with 70 HP to the active.
Yep.
And you know what does 70 damage, Pablo?
Jeez, I have no clue, Poncho.
Van Rotem. It's, of course, that Zoroark with the Cosmic Beam. As long as the Lunatone is on the bench, it does 70 damage. That's perfect. Hey, that's a prize card on the first turn.
Yeah, this combination of Lunatone and Zoroark, like, Lunatone's ability is already very good. Even if Zoroark didn't do any damage, didn't do much, I think most players would still be playing this Lunatone-Zoroark engine because it offers so much extra damage. It's like having flip the script every single turn, right? At the cost of an energy, and many decks can take advantage of that as well. Yeah, Riolu hits the board. That reveals that Simon is playing a 1/1 Mega Lucario EX. He doesn't know what sort of what sort of Cornerstone counter, what sort of Gholdengo counter Vini is rocking. But Mega Lucario EX, definitely a great answer, whether it's Cornerstone, whether it's Toadstool, you can just go boss KO with a single energy, not needing to discard much, right? So as long as you're sort of conservative, this Mega Lucario makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if it's a little bit tough to get those Gholdengos into play, having a big Mega Pokemon that definitely can't get one shot is always good to have. 1 energy for 130, it's good. I'm probably not going to accelerate some energy. 2 for 270, unfortunately, is 10 short for knocking out something like the Zoroark. So it's a little bit awkward there, but of course, there are some ways to manipulate the damage. As Vinny, though, able to bump the stadium. I don't think there's any colorless Pokemon that we do want to stop, but hey, at least we do stop the Artizone, and we're thinning it out of the deck.
All right, so getting a KO is certainly possible. That's a lot of energy in Vini's hand. 3 energies, a Buddy Puffin. We're going to see the flip the script and get more Buddy Puffins, but no Zoroark. There is a Cyrano, so we can get a lot of Zoroarks next turn, but we're not going to be aggressive. We're not going to be taking a prize card. This might be the Yveltal angle that you mentioned because the Body is just not available.
Might have to be. Luckily, when you use the Yveltal, you're not really concerned about taking prize cards at that point. But yes, right now, just a board full of Zoruas. A little bit unfortunate. I like the Cyrano. It would have been, if it was just played, if they had it the previous turn, before the Iono, or before the supporter, that would have been amazing. Can you imagine just a board full of Zoroark, just trading away, thinning the deck, getting you even more cards? That's what this deck likes to do. Not sit on the little baby guys.
Yeah. That trade ability is such a good ability. Historically, it's been fantastic with the previous Zoroark GX card. Zoroark EX brought it back to the format. Vini's going to retreat into that Reshiram once that triple trade possibility. But yeah, I mean, so so far, historically, we have seen Gholdengo decks try different answers to Cornerstone and the potential counters that people might have, right? Like Toadscruel, Cornerstone, Body, Frillish. I think Mega Lucario is a great answer to all of them, right? Mega Lucario is very energy efficient, only requires 1 energy. It's not a 3-price basic like Mega Mowell, which can be a risky Pokemon to play if you start with it. You do play 2 copies of Professor Churro, but it could get KO'd before you find those. So Mega Lucario for a single energy, KOs Frillish, KOs Toadscruel. For 2 energies, it KOs Cornerstone. And it also, for a single energy, KOs Body. So then, even as long as there's 1 energy remaining, you always have an out to KO that Hero's Cape Body.
That is very terrifying to think of, because you were just talking about how that is the way to victory. That is the one counter Vinny can really lean into, is that Buddy with the Hero's Cape, but Simon just having such a simple, it's very, very simple to just answer. It's 1 energy.
Yeah.
So efficient. But I would love to see Mega Lucario too. I love seeing all these new Mega Pokemon, as we are going to see some draws here with the Lunatone. We see maybe a Gust potentially. Can we evolve into Gholdengo? Is there anything in the hand?
I don't think there is a way to Gust or to apply pressure, so it might just be 70 damage to the active this time around, that Cosmic Beam attack. Very powerful, but not quite a Reshiram level of powerful.
If only Reshiram could actually attack in this deck, maybe we could see some 1 Prizer action. It could actually use that damage. Unfortunately, of course, there is no fire or lightning energy in the Zoroark deck. It's all darkness energy. We are depending on the Zoroark. If only they'd show up, as we are going to see the 70 damage there onto the Reshiram. All right, Pablo, what does Vinny have to put together here?
A boss's orders on the Festivity with Counter Catcher now that the Cyrano gets played. Counter Catcher, Binding Mochi, Petron DX, KO the Festivity, and take the 2-price lead. Hope to find any of the Body of Heroes Cape pieces that are prized. You know your opponent, either they don't have Gholdengo or they're holding them in their hand. But against Zoroark doesn't threaten 260 damage. Therefore, this is not a deck where you hold back the Gholdengos. And you already have a lower HP 2-price Pokemon in play that could get KO'd. So there's no reason to hold back Gholdengo. So Vinny doesn't know what's in Simon's hand, but he does know what isn't in Simon's hand. And that's usually a very key piece of information that you can play with. Now, Vinny did find a bunch of very good cards. He can piece out an attack at this point, shutting down the Lunatone engine this turn by knocking out the Zoroark. Could actually also be pretty decent, but of course, there's still the Festivity.
I like that, Pablo. Definitely got into the mind of a top player there. Sometimes it's important as well to read the situation. It's more than reading cards. Reading the situation is top player mentality, as the energy attachment actually goes onto probably the most powerful card in the format, if I have to guess. The Monkey Dory with the Adrenabrain, moving to damage, 30 damage now onto the Riolu. Does that set up anything? Is it going for like maybe a mid-turn knockout, or maybe math with the Mega?
I don't think it's like it. I think it's trying to prevent the Mega, right? If the Riolu is knocked out, if Simon doesn't prioritize getting it back, if he even has the option to get it back. I did notice that there's no Lana's 8 in the list. There is a copy of Super Rod available, but if you're under item lock, right, I think that's sort of like what Vinny might be trying to play towards in a very hopeful scenario where he gets to knock out this Riolu now that Simon has put damage on his side of the board. He can knock out the Riolu and eventually prevent it. I think that the biggest issue for Vinny's game plan is that the Body's at the very top of the prizes. You know, that's if he takes them bottom to top, which is what most players do usually, then Body's just not going to be available and could be very tough to close out this game, because otherwise you are 2-hit KOing Gholdengos, they're 1-KOing you back, you're never going to win that trade.
Yes, as Simon here draws a couple of cards there with the Lunar Cycle. I have some good news, Pablo. Simon was able to find an Ultra Ball at the very least. That means maybe we can start drawing more cards with coin bonus. Maybe seeing a little rain here in Sao Paulo. Again, just because something of note as well. The Monkey Dory healed the 30 damage off the Reshiram. It's actually out of range now from a Cosmic Beam attack. So if Simon wants to find a knockout here, it has to be, ooh, that Mega Lucario is definitely a good way to take some knockouts.
Yeah, Simon knows it's completely safe to do this. I can't imagine a combination of cards that would allow Vinny to actually deal with this Mega Lucario. So this 1-1 tech for Simon really gonna pay off in a format where Gholdengo is definitely being prioritized in terms of teching against. So Gholdengo is teching against their own counters, right? So we have the counter off the counter, and it's going to be very effective here. Imagine if this was a Mega Mowell. Simon has taken 1 prize card. Mega Mowell would need 2 energy attachments, very specific with metal energy, and would be dealing 80 damage, I think. How much is it? It's 80 times. So it wouldn't be as effective as the Mega Lucario is right now. 130 damage, just clean KO, clean KO, clean KO, no problem.
Yes, as the Vitality Band is grabbed as well. I was trying to hint it earlier as, wait, how do we actually hit 280 damage with this into the Zoroark? This very simple tool card with the Vitality Band increases it by 10, and Mega Brave, of course, does 270 damage, plus that 10, 280. That's a knockout. That's a terrifying Pokemon, and definitely fits Lucario very well. Just to, you can imagine it almost like in the anime, he just puts on the Vitality Band on himself and is hitting a lot of damage. This is a terrifying position for Vinny.
Do we have a boss's orders to go along with this? Just take 2 prizes? I guess we're just preparing for an eventual Iono that would remove this. We take down the Reshiram, force our opponent to have a Reshiram if they even want to do something, and then we can just Mega Brave for knockout. Yeah, we're gonna go Aura Jab KO.
Ooh, Aura Jab, 130 damage, and you get to attach up to 3 basic fighting energy to one of your Pokemon. You don't have to attach it to a fighting Pokemon, and it looks like we are accelerating energy as well there. I believe it was put on the Pheasantipity.
Yeah, we're pre-powering up the Pheasantipity. We have 4 energy in play, which is extremely rare for Gholdengo. Pheasantipity is also another great way to be able to deal with, to deal consistent damage without needing cards from hand. I think that's the biggest thing here for Simon. He's just like, okay, you know what? You could have Toadscroll, you could have Bodyu, you could have Cornerstone even with this combination of Pokemon. I have so many threats on board that it doesn't matter what sort of hand attack you do. You could have Airy, you could have Zero Six Machinations. My threats are on the board. They're already in play. You can't deal with them effectively or very efficiently, so I'm just going to walk away the winner, and he's doing it perfectly.
I think this is the most I've ever seen, the most energy I've ever seen attached in the Gholdengo decks, right? Gholdengo typically likes to have 1 metal energy attached to a Gholdengo, maybe 1 on a Monkey Dory, maybe that 1 left over onto the Zoroark. It's typically that, but 2 on a Mega Lucario plus 2 on a Pheasantipity EX is a very, very odd board, but it just goes to show how much Simon has really thought about this matchup. And now, Pablo, now that we're in this position, right? Mega Lucario, 2 energy, Pheasantipity has energy. Simon is playing perfectly to counter the potential Badu strategy. What is Vinny going to have to lean into? What does he have to do now to come back from this game?
It's going to be all about this Yveltal clutch attack. He's going to need to poison that Yveltal and get a little bit of residual damage, try to trap the Lunatones. Now, Simon doesn't have any Gholdengo in play, so there's already also 6 fighting energy total in play, right? That means usually there's only like 2 or 3 left for the Gholdengo player, so the Lunatone draw with Lunar Cycle should be slowing down just a little bit. And yes, Gholdengo plays to Professor Sturo, but if you play Professor Sturo, you cannot play Boss's Orders, right? So if Vinny can successfully get like back-to-back-to-back Yveltal clutch attacks, maybe he could get to a point where Simon just cannot deal with the trapping pressure. He can trap the Lunatone, he can trap the Zoroark as well, and that would put Simon in a lot of trouble.
I like it. The nice thing is, again, you mentioned the double Turo. I guess it's just going to come down to how Simon manages the board as well post the Turo, right? Yeah, 2 Turo. Hey, that's 2. That's enough to pick up both the Zoroark and Lunatone. They've done their job. They've done the early pressure. They've gotten cards. Maybe we just don't put it down again. But right now, though, Simon, can he put things together? Doesn't have as much draw power as you like to see in the Gholdengo decks, opting to not evolve the Gimmighosts just yet. I'm not sure actually if I've seen the Gholdengos in hand. I've seen the Ultra Ball.
I think there's one. I think there's one Gholdengo in hand, which might have been the top deck for this turn. And yeah, I think Yveltal is sort of like plan B combined with plan A, which is like you want to exhaust your opponent's resources, right? Whether it's the switching effects, aka Turo, or whether it's their energies and then lock them out of them with the Bodyu. You have both of those options. Vinny being forced to go for the Yveltal game plan because he doesn't have access to the Bodyu game plan whatsoever. And then thanks to the poison damage from the Petrons, that residual damage that starts building on your Yveltal can sometimes be used to do some sneaky maths here and there in order to take a knockout during your turn and still force your opponent to continue be trapped by the clutch attack.
Yes, very beautiful that it works out that way. That the fact that this Yveltal is a Dark-type Pokemon being able to get poisoned by its own teammate, the Petront, and then Monkey Dory just throwing all that damage away as Turo was played there. So Simon got to move the active Pokemon to the bench and is just going to go ahead and Aura Brave once again, take a knockout on that Yveltal. And just like that, that Pheasantipity is ready to go. And there's 1 less target to trap, but there is still 1 remaining.
Yeah, the Zoroark, even though you would say, well, Zoroark can do 70 damage, right? It can pressure the Yveltal. It doesn't even care about the resistance. But that's where Vinny sets up double Monkey Dory and therefore uses that damage against Simon, right? Yes, you do 70. Well, I'll just heal 60 out of that, and 10 after, like, if you're only doing damage in 10 increments, that's going to be very rough for you. So I think the other potential game plan is hoping to eventually trap one of the Gholdengos maybe to exhaust the other Professor Turo, make sure it gets utilized in that Pokemon, and then try to trap the Zoroark for the end game. Simon has been drawing quite a few cards, so did notice that his deck is running pretty thin. There is a Super Rod to replenish the deck, but that's it.
I believe that Arven was played already this turn, so Boss's Orders is out of the question. Might just have to take a break this turn, maybe just give up a prize card. What do you think?
It could be Counter Catcher, right? We could say there is one Counter Catcher priced. I don't know if the other one is available in the deck. We'll have to see. I mean, Vinny's definitely against the wall, right? He's in a lot of trouble. The Lucario is, like I mentioned, the perfect counter to the counters that people try to play against Gholdengo. Yes, it takes up 2 spaces. Yes, you need to evolve, as opposed to the Mega Mobile answer, but it's also a bit more energy efficient. I don't know if you benefit too much from the energies in play. Maybe too many energies in play can be counterintuitive, and it gets to a point where Vinny somehow deals with the Lucario, and then Gholdengo doesn't have enough access to energy to KO. I don't know. With 3 prizes, there's very few prizes at this point in time to have remaining for Simon. And Vinny, if he can't cost this turn, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, we do see the attachment, though, now on that Yveltal. It is ready to attack. Is there the Counter Catcher in the hand? Oh, there's the Boss's Orders.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, maybe the supporter
Arven was on a previous turn. Yeah, that was for Simon. We're going to be able to boss here. Trying to decide who will be promoted. Trying to exhaust that second Professor Turo scenario. And we'll have to see who gets brought up. Yeah, I think it has to be... Okay, it's going to be the Zoroark. So if we Turo that up, and we probably can't bench anything else as Simon, because whatever gets benched could be trapped. Even if it's the 4th Gholdengo, since the deck only plays 3 Metal Energy, we could get to a point where you get to trap a high HP Pokemon that can no longer attack. Now, is that possible to do for Vinny here at this point in time with 3 prizes remaining? I don't know if it's going to be truly possible at this point.
It's going to come down to the wire, right? 3 prize cards remaining. That's technically, you still have to knock out Yveltal 3 more times. Vinny has 3 more chances to try and put something together here if there is something to be able to be trapped. But Simon's board, very tight. Very well calculated. Not even evolving the other Gholdengos, Gimmighoulds, excuse me, into the Gholdengos. Both these players just have massive hands as well, so they truly have almost access to anything they want.
There's the Professor Turo off the Pokegear, so Simon will be able to continue to apply the pressure, will be able to go down to 2 prize cards this turn, but will be out of Professor Turo. There's no Pal Pad, there's no way to recycle these, so if Vinny manages to once again recover the Yveltal and have a Ghost effect, he can now effectively trap something. But the question is, what do you even trap? The Fezandipity, it can't KO. No, it can KO if the Yveltal is poisoned, so Vinny probably would not be able to afford the poison, but he could start sniping. And Monkey Dory is good, but if you're getting hit for 100 damage each turn, that's going to be a problem. So the foresight of Simon pre-powering up that Fezandipity is actually very cool, because you can overwhelm your opponent with damage, even if they're healing a bunch with the Monkey Dory.
You love to see it when a Pokemon does double duty. Mega Lucario, the cornerstone answer, is suddenly really a way to just set up your Fezandipity as well in these odd situations. But Professor Turo now is played. Zoroark out of the board. No more liabilities here for Simon.
There we go, Mega Lucario, the efficient attacker, doesn't require you to use resources from your hand, doesn't require those superior energy tools, doesn't require you to exhaust any more energies. In case Vinicius ever plays an Iono, you get to replenish more cards into your deck, and he's been attaching energies pretty consistently with our jab. I'm pretty sure you don't have to attach, because the attack reads up to, so you don't have to attach any energy if you don't need to, or if you don't want to, but every time he's chosen to attach.
2 energies now on that Gholdengo. It doesn't need that fighting energy. Do you think it's just there for potential retreat?
Yeah, potential retreat, free them up. Okay, now this is the key turn for Vinny. Can he trap something? Can he recover the Yveltal? Or what is the plan, right? What is the game plan? There's no damage on the board for him to go terminal period, KO the Mega Lucario EX, perhaps. Maybe that's what we were trying to play into, but then there's 4 superior energy retrieval available for Simon. We haven't used a single one yet, I don't think. So then the Absol will just get immediately KO'd, so we need to pair that probably with an Iono. But with no damage on the board, that's impossible. What is the line here to win?
That's what I was going to ask you, Pablo, because my mind is drawing a blank.
I'm asking the universe.
We need a sign.
Please enlighten me. I don't know. Yeah, and we're heading to game 2.
Yeah, the board was just set up perfectly. No liabilities. Maybe Vinny just needed at least one of those Turos to be prized. And then, yes, the trap would be set. But Simon had access to everything he needed. Ooh, that truly does seem like a tough matchup, especially with that Mega Lucario.
Yeah.
Pablo, is there anything you think Vinny can change up? Any tools he has? He does have a couple of tech cards like the Okidogi EX, like the Mega Absol EX. However, these are still big EX Pokemon.
So in the situation he was currently in, there were 2 energies on the Mega Lucario.
Yes.
There were 3 on Festivity, that's 5. There were 2 more on Gholdengo, that's 7. And I think there were 3 in the discard pile. Yeah, so let's take a look at the replay. I want to make sure where our energy counts were. So there was a universe where maybe Vini could have brought something up and used the body at that point. So maybe that's what he's going to try to do on this second game. But yeah, this Mega Lucario just completely overwhelmed Vini. Extremely good attacker, 1 KO everything that was in front of it, thanks to that crucial vitality, man. Otherwise, if you're hitting 270 onto a Zoroark, right, you're going to be in trouble because you're getting hit back with 540. So overall, amazingly well done, and it's all about the Mega Lucario. So that's going to be the key card to look out for in this game too.
Mega Lucario, again, not something I thought I'd see really come into play, but wow, was the perfect answer, that's for sure. Again, Mega Brave, very, very efficient, very useful attack. Just love how these Gholdengo decks have really evolved now into the metagame. It's almost more like a fighting deck with some Gholdengos mixed in, as both our players are now setting up. Hopefully prizing isn't too harsh for either player. Would love to see again, both of them have exactly what they had, like the last game where they had almost their entire deck in their hand. So every play was possible. But here we go, game 2 now. Simon is going to start us off with the Zoroark and just the energy attachment. Just a pass.
Yeah, not a great start. Maybe there's an Arvin in hand, then you can just trolley for everything else that you might need. Vini could get a turn 1 item lock, right? It wouldn't be out of the question. Get an Yveltal down, use Petra and Subject getting changed, bring up the Yveltal, and then get the body. But no, we just see a Poffin and a pass.
Poffin and a pass. Not too much. Did Vini not play a supporter?
No supporter play, just Poffin and a pass, even though he could. And now it's on Simon, who does have a fighting energy and has that fighting gong in order to find the Lunatone to start drawing extra cards.
Such great consistency. Fighting Gong able to find any basic fighting Pokemon or basic fighting energy. Definitely helps with finding pieces to draw even more cards, draw even more pieces. Once the train is going, once you're completely set up, this Gholdengo deck does one thing really well, and that's draw, that's for sure. Looking at the prize cards now, 2 Arvins are prized, so that's a little tough always, you know. You like seeing your supporters in the deck. Lunatone is prized. Luckily, there is multiple copies at the very least, so not much of note, really.
Yeah, nothing too major, right? I mean, the 2 copies of Arvin could make this early game awkward for him because finding a trolley could be, like the odds of finding trolley or playing trolley are much lower. You're going to end up not needing trolley at all. If you find one of the Arvins, you're probably set up for the rest of the game. And crucially, the Riolu and the Lucario are available for Simon, so that's going to be the cards to look out for when they hit the field. Vini will probably try to be extra aggressive against the Riolu if he can, in order to try to deny the Mega Lucario from hitting the field. Because that's definitely Simon's best answer to the body plus Heroescape late game possibility. Now, one thing going for Vini is that Simon probably knew heading into this round that Vini played Zoroark. He might not know that he plays body plus Heroescape. It has become sort of standard, but you can't really guarantee it.
Big Pokegear here. Again, no supporters found off the Pokegear. Actually, those 2 Arvins prize definitely make it tough here. Simon is unable to set up, really. Again, it's when you're reliant on these A-specs to set up, and if you don't find them on the first turn, things really do slow down. And we see that exact example happening to Simon right now. The second Pokegear?
And no supporter yet. Yeah, the 2 Arvins being prized is definitely being very costly at this point in time. And I mean, sure, you might have all the answers, but you can't get anything into play. That's always going to be a problem.
Ooh, 2 Pokegear whiffs. No one is home, unfortunately, as at least there is a Gimmighoul in the bench and a boss's order, so we're taking prize cards. There it is, Cosmic Beam knockout on the end, Zorua. But Vini does have the Zoroark in play now, at the very least, is able to use that trade to draw a couple cards.
Not a lot of help from those cards, though. Still, no supporter, no extra Zoruas, no Artisan, no nothing, Pancho. We don't have anything at all. We're down a game. I mean, our opponent hasn't had the best starts either so far. The Zoroark doesn't threaten anything really anymore. Boss's orders wanting to get played, maybe yes, maybe no. Gimmighoul gets put up, and Vini does know that there's no Arvin in hand, there's no supporter in hand after those Pokegear whiffs. Maybe he's hoping that there's no help here, but we do know that one of the Arvins was grabbed from the prize cards.
Yes, that's a nice thing about prizing your supporters, because sometimes you can draw them. But here it is, Arvin is going to be the play. Going to see probably a pink card come up. Maybe the air balloon.
Good. Pink cards are pretty good, yeah. I think you want to keep applying pressure, right? You need 5 energy total to get this knockout on this Petron, so we're definitely going to see Genesect DX. I have to imagine we're going to get a Gholdengo. We're going to get extra energy drawn, extra cards drawn off of that coin bonus. And I don't know if we can get to the KO, but being fully set up with a Genesect, with the Gholdengos out, I mean, that should be plenty, especially based on Vini's very poor draws.
As we do see the ace spec coming to play, and no, actually opting not to grab the Genesect there, opting to get the Riolu and 2 more Gimmighoul's. So why do you think we're not grabbing the Genesect though?
All right, I think that's a very good call from Simon in terms of like, yes, he could start trying to win this game, get the Gholdengos, get drawing, get going, right? He already has the Gholdengo in his hand actually, so that's probably the main reason. But even if you didn't, maybe you're playing the long game, right? He won game 1. He knows that took a long time as well. So if you bench the Genesect and you have Genesect and Zoroark and Lunatone in the prize cards, on the bench, then the Professor Turo trap, once you're out of Professor Turos, you could get trapped or something. So he's playing more of the long game of like, I'm not going to let you trap anything, I'm going to play super safe. I can tell that you're drawing terrible, you're not applying any pressure, so I'm not pressured to get set up and get everything on the board, right? And I feel like that's a very high skill thing to show off here for Simon in terms of like, you go out of script of Genesect finds me Gholdengo, so I'm going to get Genesect into play for future Gholdengos.
Exactly. I mean, it's so tempting, right? It's so tempting to just go wide, get so many more cards in hand, get that card advantage, get that draw, get the knockout. But again, with the foresight of just Simon only has 2 Turos. He can only move 2 times. So very heads up here, as right now I don't quite think the knockout is in the hand just yet, just because there's not that much energy in hand.
Yeah, not at all, I think. And we can recover some, I think, with Superior Energy Retrieval. However, no, there's no Superior Energy Retrieval. Okay, so might just be a Zoroark turn. I mean, we did attach the Riolu, right? So we're never knocking out with the active. No retreat, interestingly enough. Doesn't want to give Vinicius any sort of damage on the board that can be used against him later down the line.
It's one shot or nothing.
Wow, trade into Professor Turo and Palpat. 2 amazing cards. You can see Vini is not happy. Amazing cards to be drawing. Amazing cards in your deck. Possibly the 2 worst cards to draw in this spot. Like I can't imagine a worse card to find.
Those are good cards once you have your Zoroarks to trade. But
so we're going to go for an Irritated Outburst for 60 damage, Juancho. That's where we're at. We're going to Current's Conviction, power up both of our Pokemon. Simon has taken a prize card, which means Irritated Outburst does 60 damage total.
Yeah, Janine's Secret Art there, able to accelerate those energies onto the board. I believe now the Petrunt is poisoned, which is the odd thing. Oh! No, this isn't enough still. That is very, very sad. Yeah, 60 damage onto the Riolu. I mean, every damage could count. That is, if Simon fails to draw something like the Zoroark, this could potentially go down, as top deck is just a Metal Energy in hand. There's another Arven, I believe.
We have another Arven. We can Ultra Ball, get that Metal Lucario. We need another Fighting Energy, I guess. Gholdengo off the top, off the coin bonus, so another extra card being drawn. Now we have the Superior Energy Retrieval, so we can go Mega Brave KO on this Petrunt if we want. Not a bad position to be in if you're Simon. You're up a game, your opponent has not played a supporter yet, 4 turns into the game. I think you're feeling pretty good if you're Simon here.
If I remember right, Petrunt EX is a Dark-type Pokemon, is weak to fighting.
Oh yeah, it is weak to fighting, so you don't even need to Mega Brave. You can just Aura Jab for the knockout.
Yeah. Take a knockout, accelerate some energy. If there's no Pheasantipity this time, so there's even no need to accelerate these energies potentially. Maybe you want to attack with a Lunatone.
It will be very costly to get this going, right? Oh, no, never mind. You don't need the second energy because it's weak, so never mind. I was thinking, we need to discard for Ultra Ball, and then we need to discard for Superior. But no, we just need to discard for the Ultra Ball.
Yeah, just be able to use the first attack to take a knockout. This is the attack that's supposed to just set up the board. Nope. It's taking a knockout. It's taking 2 prize cards here against Vinny, and it's going to leave him with just a lone Zoroark against the world. Yeah. I got Lucario EX, definitely the star of this match so far.
I'm so used to Dark-type Pokemon being weak to grass that I completely blanked at Petrunt, and like all the poisonous Pokemon, the Okidogi, the Petrunt, the Pheasantipity, the Monkey Dirty, they're all weak to fighting.
Just a detachment there. Why not? You get a Gholdengo ready. Even has the Vitality Band in hand, just in case. So has the knockout on the Zoroark lined up with the Mega Lucario too, if he wanted.
And I mean, honestly, Vinicius could end up getting benched. He has found no basic, no Puffin, no Artisan, no anything. He has a lot of really good cards in his hand, none of which help right at this point in time. We keep attaching those energies to prevent a retreat or whatnot. Iono off the top, so I mean, if we're going to make something happen, that's going to be one of the cards we definitely need.
One of the strongest comeback cards in the game. Iono is going to have to draw Vinny so much. Has the Iono, has trade to work with. That's 8 fresh cards. That's
oh my gosh, there's nothing there either. There's no basic Pokemon. There's a
basic. Oh.
And there's a Puffin. All right, so
Zoroark saves the day here.
The tradability. I mean, it saves the day in terms of like, sure, we don't lose this upcoming turn.
It saves
get
one
benched. But are we doing much at all? We can hit for 170, right? It's the most damage Vini will have done over the course of 2 games. That still means Simon is pretty safe.
Is there a world now we just commit the Ace Spec onto the Zoroark? Just, this is our main guy, and sure enough, there it is.
Yeah, it's how we try to stay in this, I guess. I mean, not enough resources have been exhausted for Simon, for Vini to have any sort of game plan. Simon is so far ahead with very few resources expended, double Turo still available, plenty of energy, plenty of raw energy still available. So yeah, the play could now be for Simon, or encourage Simon to take the knockout on the Zoroark, then default into a hero cape less Budyu. But still, if you're out of energy, that could just be tough to knock out. But the energy on the Zoroark would just complicate things as well. So I think Vini's undefeated streak so far with 9 wins and 2 ties could be coming to an end here at the hands of Gholdengo.
Yes, the Fernandez brothers showdown, almost seeming like a dream now. But of course, 9-0-2, still pretty good there. Zoroark getting a couple more extra draws, but what do you think the play is now for Simon? I think we're looking for something like a Gust, maybe potentially just go down to even.
Exactly, yeah. Take a price card, possibly on the Reshiram, possibly on the Zoroark, and then you just deal with the Zoroark next turn with a Gholdengo, and you're good to go, right? The goal, I think, maybe in a situation like this, most players will be like, oh yes, if I knock out the Zoroark, then he no longer has a hero escape and whatnot. But I think this is where prize mapping is very important. You can take 2 prizes and then 1, or you can take 1 prize and then 2. The order doesn't matter as long as it's 3 prizes over the course of the next 2 turns. So make sure you're focused on that and do it the most efficient way possible, the highest possibility way or path, right? And I think finding a Ghost effect here would be in Simon's advantage for sure. Now, I'd be very surprised if he attaches another energy though. I feel like if he attaches another one, I mean, or I might be wrong, and Orajab forces you to attach at least 1. I don't think that's the case.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just 130, and you may attach. But right now, all the coin bonuses have been used. We're not getting any more coins here, but we may get a friend. Is that friend a boss?
Boss's orders, Professor Turo. I think we saw Arvin as well, so I think that's all the supporters that Simon plays.
That's all the buddies.
One of each. You have all the choice you could possibly want. Do we go for the boss? Just go aggressive, take a knockout. Do we go for something else? We're eyeing up the Turo. I mean, maybe Simon just doesn't want Vini to take 3 prizes at all. But if Simon, I mean, with being 1 game up, you can definitely afford to do this, right? It's like you don't need to win this game to win the ramp. So by preventing the Mega Lucario from going down, sure, you're not getting closer to winning, but you're also making it that much harder for your opponent to win.
It's like Professor Turo is the grab. Could heal up the Mega Lucario. Do you think that's worth it? It's been so useful, we could reuse it once again. So all that damage just erased there. But that's one of the Turos down then.
Yeah, I mean, with 10 minutes left on the clock, even if we defaulted to an Yveltal trapping play, this game's never ending, right? Like, there's too many cards left in the deck. There's a Metal Energy and a Fighting Energy in the prize as well. That could have played really well into the Body plus Hero Escape, but that's no longer an option available for Vini. We can draw a few extra cards, sure, but I don't think we're getting much out of this. We're not going to see a KO, but Simon doesn't need to KO. He just needs to make sure that Vini doesn't win this game.
Might even just be impossible to KO, really. There's so many energy attached on the board, plus the 2 energies on the prize card. There's only 3 energy in the discard pile. And Zoroark's HP is just too high for Gholdengo to reach, unfortunately. So let's just push it to the bench for now. We'll worry about it later.
That works even better. We can still take the knockout. We take the Mega Lucario off the board. We threaten game next turn, and we gave Vini... Like, Vini can take 1 prize card next turn. That's the game plan that he possibly has. Nothing else works here. Vini doesn't have any other option. There will be not enough energies exhausted either, I think. Playing into the Budyu. Maybe there's 3 in play, 3 in discard, that's 6, 2 in hand, that's 8. We need to discard 3, so that will leave 2 energies total. Maybe the Budyu can become the hero, but because the Zoroark has the attachment, already, then because the body only has 70 HP, if we had body plus Hero Escape, I think we would be golden, and maybe there's a world where we go pollen, and Simon just draw passes, and we deck them out, but the Hero Escape being attached right here, which was necessary for Vini to like stay in this match, now probably takes away the 1-win condition he might have had.
Is this the first Make It Rain of the match, of the Gholdengo match?
Yeah.
So Make It Rain there, 150 damage.
All right, so yeah. It's on Vini to make something happen. He's not going to be winning this game by prizes, I don't think. The deck out scenario is tough with no Hero Escape for the Budyu. And even if it was available, probably not enough time to play into that. I mean, I think Vini's like Face says it all. He's not happy with how things have played out. He barely got to set up a single Zoroark, couldn't find any help whatsoever from the top, from the trade, until it was probably just a little too late, Juancho.
Yeah, definitely looks a little stumped there. But again, Vinny is able to get this record, though. Again, 9-0-2 in this in LAIC, and Gholdengo is one of the most represented decks in the tournament. So I want to know actually if how many Gholdengo he's been able to face. If his strategy of the Hero's Cape Badu was enough.
I would say like Hero's Cape plus Badu, when they first sort of like revealed that strategy at I think it was Lille. I think that's where Gabriel got top 8 and he had that option. I feel like that's where many people like. Hero's Cape in Zoroark was not super standard, right? But now we're in the last tournament of Mega Evolution. That's where most lists are being figured out. So now if you're playing in Zoroark, you probably can expect, at the very least, Hero's Cape, probably Body, right? And that's also like the easiest answer. It's a one-spot answer to try to beat Gholdengo. And it probably works against many players who are careless with their resource management. Probably doesn't work in round 12 in one of the most prestigious tournaments of the year.
That makes a lot of sense. And doesn't work against this big Mega Lucario, but Vinny is going to give it a go here. We're going to see a clutch onto the Lunatone. And again, 5 minutes remaining here in the match. Simon, I don't see the Turo just yet, so potentially this could stick.
There's a Turo in hand. It is available, yep. So it is the last Turo, so not perfect. We are continuing to draw cards by Simon. He knows that it's the last Turo as well, so maybe we can get to a world where the Yveltal gets to trap the Zoroark, but unless Simon like really overuses ability, leaves himself with very few cards in the deck, I'm gonna say there's at least 10 left, possibly more, just based on the height of the deck at this point. I can't imagine. I mean, like, we can get an accurate head count here, 3, 6. Yeah, there's at least 12 cards. There's about to be 10. Even if there's a full trap, we have Super Rod to replenish energy into a deck. We're not under item lock or anything like that. So all good. Yeah, all good. I think even if Vinny was able to get a full trap going, there's no way Simon decks out before time runs out.
I like it, as Super Rod is going to be played, shuffling in the Iron Bundle and 2 fighting energy. That's plus 3 more cards. Yeah, it is getting fairly thin there. So maybe we stopped depending on these Gholdengos, that's for sure.
Yeah, we stopped. It's probably the last turn we see coin bonus. We have the Turo. Do we have knockout? I mean, do we need knockout? Right? We just see the pass, conserving resources, replenishing the deck. There's very little time left. We're never decking out in this scenario, and this is where making sure that you are very aware of the time, making sure you are. I think this is where Turoing up the Mega Lucario never happens if it's game 2 and Simon is down a game, and always happens if Simon is up a game, as he is right now. As we see the Penny picking up a Pokemon, putting down the Monkey Dury. So now Vinny has a bit of extra damage thanks to Poison building up, thanks to the Petrunt. But I mean, dealing 40 damage per turn is just not good enough.
40 damage a turn, where all your opponent's Pokemon have over 100 HP at the very least. All the multi-prize Pokemon have 260 HP, and even potentially 330 with the Mega Lucario. Definitely a little too slow, as Simon's still playing cards, though, choosing to play that Arvin. Is there anything else in the deck important? Superior Energy Retrieval in combo with an Iono, potentially, if there is an Iono. But also could potentially just go for the knockout next turn, but no point, really. Maybe setting up for a knockout just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Doesn't hurt. Gonna see Superior. Doesn't hurt also to just have the raw energy available, right? If at any point body happens, but you already played the Superior Energy Retrieval, you have more than enough energy to deal with a body where maybe your opponent also plays a Bravery Charm or a Luxurious Cape, right? Luxurious Cape serves, like, if your opponent's down to 1 price card, Luxurious Cape is essentially a Hero's Cape for body, right? It's like having an extra A-spec for that late game scenario. Maybe that's a possibility for Zoroark decks to consider later down the line, as Vinny continues to pile up the damage. With 2 minutes left on the clock, 40 damage just is not enough.
Yeah. Vinny, though, does have so many Zoroarks now. Both these players have everything on board, all the draws in the world. It's so odd to see. It's so odd to see you have all the draws, but the game plan is manage resources. Don't play too much.
Yeah, and generally, I think if we had more time, this might be good enough for the lock, right? Because even though Simon has an extra Professor's Turo scenario, has plenty of energy, Vinny could eventually lock this Zoroark, take 10 damage each turn, has Palpad, has Penny, to make sure that the Yveltal doesn't go down, and would be able, if Simon attacks Vinny, and Vinny has double Monkey Dury, all of a sudden it's 80 damage per turn, and that's a lot more to pressure things on the bench, get knockouts and whatnot. But now we have 1 minute left on the clock. I think Simon's going to be the winner and getting closer to top 8.
I like that bet, Pablo. I like that bet. Definitely looking great here for Simon. Vinny, just double checking though if there are any other outs. Checking the discard pile, checking resources. Okie dokie hits the discard pile. I like seeing the cool cards, but unfortunately that's not going to come into play in this matchup at all. I think it is also weak to fighting.
Yeah. All the trio is weak to fighting. Most other dark type Pokemon that are more relevant are weak to grass, but these the group from Shrouded Fable is weak to fighting.
Professor Turo picked up a Zoroark, so there's more bench space to work with right now.
3 seconds on the clock, and I mean, if Simon, turn 0, Vinny's extended hand, knows it's over. Maybe with more time, Vinny could have actually pulled this, and it's pretty interesting to think that in the game where Vinny drew the worst, and Simon used the least amount of resources, he had the opening of a potential deck out scenario with Yveltal, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case.
Yes, but Simon Lacas here taking the game and winning with a very, very cool Mega Lucario EX, supported by some Gholdengo deck. I love seeing these new cards really showcase why they're in the game, and Mega Lucario, it's earned a spot for me. It's definitely earned a spot in the Gholdengo deck. I switched my Mega Mawile pick again, too, as a better cornerstone answer.
I feel like you need to reread the rules of the caster predictions, Mancho, because you can't just watch a match and change your prediction.
I'm so impressed by the players, Pablo.
Now, I will say, let's take a look at the replay of what happened in these games. Let's take a look at Mega Lucario shine this round.